All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and joining me as always is none other than my awesome co-host, Avira.
Oh, whoa! Hey guys, so awesome to be back. Hope everyone had a fantastic week. And let me just remind everyone that yesterday was February 29th. Very special event that only comes around once every 4 years. And no, I'm not talking about the presidential election. I mean like leap year. So that was pretty
Right.
cool. That means that this year has 366 days. How cool is that?
and it and already gamers are pissed.
Oh, yes. Well, I can't wait to have a fantastic show tonight, guys.
Awesome. And as always, we have our interim host, Noble.
Good morning. It's nice and overcast and possibly going to start pissing with rain. Gotta love it.
Well, well, I'm looking at my window now. I get the nice and overcast part box ticked in, and yeah, I'd say you ticked all the boxes in my neck of the woods right now. Damn.
Well,
You know what?
I guess that kind of weather happens, right? I mean, you guys are both in the southern hemisphere. Isn't it like the first day of spring for you?
It is the first day. Well, now it's the second day of autumn. Thank goodness for that.
Oh, okay.
Because, dude, some on the 29th, the last day of summer, went out with with a bang, and for us, the weather bureau was telling us that it was 40 degrees Celsius outside. Well, to
It
you,
was
it should have done
only
to be 106,
Goodness.
give or
it
take.
was only like 25 where I am, but oof, it was
Yeah, well,
humid.
where I was, my car was telling me it was 44. The weather bureau was saying it was like 40, 41,
No, hang on.
and
Was it 35? No, it was 35. Sorry.
on the 29th.
Yeah, if I recall, it
Yeah,
was
well,
just bad.
yeah, no, it was bad, and I spent the last stint of it outside doing lifting work, loading trucks, and all that stuff.
Oh, goodness.
Nasty, nasty stuff. Not to mention that I had to stay back a wee bit too. So that is never fun.
Well, hopefully from here on out, it's going to get a little bit cooler day by day.
Oh yeah, I can even see the tree swaying right now. Pretty neat. So guess things ain't so bad.
All right.
Oh well, at least now. But I guess on the flip side of the coin, what's it like for you down there now? Winter is over.
Yes. Well, today was actually kind of a warm day. It was about 54 degrees. And yesterday was 48, which I'm talking like 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was not freezing. I mean, it's not warm, but it's pretty much early spring weather. So we're already getting into that kind of season. What's crazy though is this entire winter, it only snowed twice by me.
In New York, that's pretty.
Oh yeah,
That is
and it
very
was
very
only
nice.
yeah, it was only a couple inches both times. So hey, you know what? Knock on wood. I'm super lucky I didn't have to shovel and scrape ice off my car so I can go to work at 5 a.m. and all that horrible stuff. No, thank you, global warming, for for blessing us with a nice warm winter.
I know, right? It's same thing. Like for giving us summer this hot, which and here days with those temperatures are not very quite rare still. But yeah, so there you go.
Hmm.
Experience of the week. Now, first things first, we've got some crazy stuff to share with you for the week. Ooh. So buckle up. You're gonna be taken for a quite the experience today. Start the segment off. So first things first. What have we got? It's a dream of many people when they say they want to go and see the Willy Wonka. Like for realsies.
Hmm.
Like, when you were growing up, you watch, we all watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And
Well,
you're just like,
this is a very interesting kind of concept because we all know that the latest Willy Wonka movie just came out. What, about a month and a half or so
yeah,
ago?
like, yeah, very
Right.
recently.
Of course. And now we have this event going on, which is trying to cater to kids and cater to the whole event. Like, oh, let's kind of bring the franchise back into the mainstream. Okay, cool. However, these people unfortunately made the mistake of using AI art to promote their event, and then the actual event was not necessarily what they were trying to promote. So let's read on what they say about this, huh?
Right, yeah, let's take a look at some of the AI art they've done with. Like, you've got a surreal, like, oversized lollipops on stereo. Like, just look at this poster here.
I mean, it looks cool. It looks magical. Something like Willy Wonka would probably make.
It certainly has that Alice in Wonderland vibe, for sure, for sure. We'll say that much. But yes, let's have a read of it, though. I mean, yeah, it was billed as the place where chocolate dreams became reality, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Website for Willy's Chocolate Experience, held in Glasgow, Scotland last weekend, featured wild, vivid images of sweetie themed fantasy worlds. And yes, yeah, and like, look, and a lot of the problems I said was not just that the use of AI art and how it turned out, but the pricing. It was, hundreds of parents were persuaded to pay up to £35 a ticket for an event which promises surprises at every turn.
Right. So the
Yeah.
article goes on to say that it was inspired by, of course, Ronald Dahl's character and the recent Willy Wonka movie. So obviously this was some kind of a cash grab, right? Or maybe it was not supposed to be. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The thing is, you got to pay £35 to be there, which is about $45 in American currency. So a family of four would spend about $200.
Yeah, give or take,
Yeah.
one for every kid. And yeah, Noble, were you about to add something?
Hmm.
Well, the art looks surreal and not really my thing. But with that
Yeah,
kind of price, I would expect them to at least use like a screenshot from this film or hire someone to make that sort of artwork
right, exactly.
by hand and not like. Even then, if it's in an actual event, I'd rather see what I'm going to and not some like fancy BS that. Uh,
Oh, this was not fancy BS whatsoever. It was the lack of fancy. See, their promotions were very eccentric, I would say. But when you actually go to the event and see what they tried to put on and tried to like scam people for, people are calling it a scam. Let's see what
Let's
the
get to
actual
it.
event looked like.
I mean, in truth, what it said was Eagle families who turned up at an industrial area in Whiting described it as a little more than an abandoned, empty warehouse.
oh no! Oh shit! And I thought that artwork was worth putting.
Oh,
Why
it
don't you
gets
show us
worse.
the next picture?
I'll show you the next picture, first and foremost.
So they have children were instead offered a half cup of lemonade and a small ration of jelly beans. By the way, guys, there was no chocolate at the Willy Wonka chocolate experience. Zero chocolate. And here's what happened. As you can see the picture, they walked into this abandoned looking warehouse with oh god, that's embarrassing.
With a rainbow arch that leads into a double door gateway.
If anyone wants to know what's on my face, it's a surprised Pikachu face. Are you fucking kidding me? That is what they've chosen to go with.
Imagine like
Are you
parents being
serious?
duped by this. They're like, oh, my 6-year-old would love to go to some candy fun little adventure place for the weekend. Okay, let's go. And then they see this.
This is traumatizing.
Oh, it gets
This would
better.
traumatize kids. I'm sorry, there's not even fake grass. Are you?
Right? Are
Was
you
this?
kidding?
Hang on, just out of curiosity, was this an official event by the makers of the movie, or was this
No,
just
it was
some?
not an official event by the makers of the movie.
It was not. In fact,
In
they
fact,
went out of their way to make sure it wasn't, because they called the Oompa Loompas the wackadoodles, and that Willy Wonka was uh, Willy Duff, I believe they called him. So that way they wouldn't infringe on copyright.
and
Okay, so
Yep,
not
Willy
official
Duff.
Willy Wonka.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel a lot
uh,
better about this then
I'm
because
sorry, it's called Willie McDuff. I believe that's what they called him. But we all know what they were trying to emulate. Like, let's be real.
I
and
swear this is like one of those scammy Simpsons episodes where they try to take the piss out of something. It just golden, except it's real. It's not in a cartoon with yellow characters. I mean, shit.
It turns out kids got so upset by this, they started crying hysterically.
yeah,
And
and more things like the police had to be called to the event too.
yeah,
So now to answer Noble's question, like it was it organized by officially? No, the organizers were, get this, House of Illuminati, an events company which, according to its website, specializes in crafting extraordinary experiences, quote unquote.
hmm Now, House of the Illuminati, they're also responsible for doing a lot of like wedding planning, but all of their promotions are also AI generated art. So, depending on how seriously you take that, and if you're watching one of these events that they put on, I don't know if I would trust them with a wedding. That's just my opinion there.
Right. And no, another picture to show you is this drab. Expectations versus reality. Expectations, a big, wonderful lollipop garden with lots of eggs and jelly beans in a waterfall. Reality, half a cup of lemonade and some jelly beans.
Yeah, that looks so Willy Wonka-esque magical. Ugh, amazing. I would totally bring my kids there. That looks like a good time.
All right, come on, get your cup of lemonade.
I feel like all they had to do was spend like $100 on some like mini chocolate bars and just give those out to kids, and then there would be no problems, right? Because if kids go there and the decorations suck, the whole environment is horrible. But hey, as long as they get their candy, okay, that's fun. But they couldn't even do that. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so crazy. Like this is some of the costumes and stuff that was in the plot line in the script of how this was all gonna play, like into the experience.
Mhm.
Look at this. Like you get some scary, well, in a big chromatic mask.
Um,
Imagine imagine being
Nightmare.
5 years old and seeing that. That's
Yes.
nightmare fuel.
I'm sorry, but with the on my screen with the size of that photo through this whole thing, it looks like that woman's holding a white knife because of her collar, how it's sticking up. It looks like a knife held at the guy's throat, the one wearing the mask. Or is that a woman?
Well, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It seems like that's not Willy Wonka, right? That's some kind of a silver-faced Afro demon. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, but give me like $2,000 in the event, and I could do like 10 times fucking better. I mean, shit.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Exactly, 100%.
I mean, go get some. Go to as many industrial places as you can, or shops that sell like large items in cardboard boxes. Buy a bunch of that shit and just spend like 2 weeks painting fake trees and crap. I mean, jeez.
Well, so this kind of went viral the last few days thereabouts since this happened. And there is one picture that I would really like to highlight. Uh, is it in this article, Jolt? The Oompa Loompa?
Oh no! Please tell me he's black.
Oh,
Yeah.
Please tell me he's black.
Oh, it gets better. It's not even about the race.
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
even.
Oh, this is the part where it gets better. Okay, there's more like with the Oompa Loompas. First of all, you have this one. This image will be the one that will last a lifetime.
So here we have the Oompa Loompa knockoff Wonkaland experience. Look like she's running a literal meth lab and is seriously questioning the life choices up until this point. If you scripted this, I would say it was too on the nose. Yo, look at this shit.
All
It
right.
looks like a freaking meth lab. What the crap?
So they couldn't even outdo the Wonka movie in this part. They had to use someone of normal height someone of normal height,
Look at
and
how
not
miserable.
someone with dwarfism. Are you fucking serious?
Yo, and all the smoke and stuff around her. Dude, it looks like a legit meth lab. Oh, good lord. This is crazy. Imagine like being a little child walking up to this, like, "Hey kid, do you want some of my blue chocolate?" Be like, "What the fuck?" No.
I swear, get one of those. What do you call them? Yeah, they were used to take wool from sheep and then turn it into like yarn that could be knitted and shit. Get that and have her basically, twisting that constantly. That would have been more accurate. Even with that expression, that would have been accurate. I'm sorry, but a shovel and shoveling like blue rock would have been more accurate. I mean, yeah, fine, paint the blue rock like purple or something, but I mean, what the hell?
This is weird, man. I've never seen anything quite like this. Like, I would imagine this is some kind of a parody, right? Like something like SNL would do a skit like this. This can't be real, right? What the
Surely
heck?
not. Like it really has the hallmarks of a finger rate comedy show. You're right.
Like, I'm just an enslaved Oompa Loompa making drugs to addict the kids to make money, you know? Oh, goodness.
Oh, and get this too. It's so funny too. It's that's the one thing the one part that this whole the whole drug lab thing got was this. Look at this. Simpsons predicted a sad Willy Wonka inspired experience.
The Simpsons predicted this?
Yeah.
The
Shockingly, of
Simpsons
course.
may have foretold this epic event fudging. Ha, fudging, I get it.
Yeah.
Willy
And
Wonka's chocolate experience has been mercilessly mocked after it failed to deliver on a promise to delight children with a reaction of Ronald Dahl's fictional candy factory.
right. And let's have a look at them. Okay, so we got, we have to think about this is what the and this is what the Simpsons thing owed.
Oh goodness!
I remember that.
Oh no!
And they actually went with someone with the correct height too.
That is so funny. The poor Oompa Loompa, he's like, I have to think about my life decisions. What have I done?
You know the downside with the Wonka movie that came out recently? There's a conspiracy theory now where the Oompa Loompas aren't the actual employees, they own the joint. And Wonka's the one imprisoned.
Oh, I never heard that
Oh,
one. No, and okay, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
See, I always thought that Willy Wonka was like a colonizer who sort of abducted people from their indigenous homes and made them slaves in his factory in order to give them chocolate because they're addicted to it.
If you watched the Wonka movie that came out, the one called Wonka, it's like the prequel to the whole thing. He basically goes to the island, he steals their chocolate bean things, and then one of the guy in charge of securing their chocolate supply for the Oompa Loompas gets kicked off the island. He then finds Wonka, steals his chocolate 1,000 times over than what he took. Yeah.
Oh yes, that was the premise for the recent Wonka movie. That he was stealing from him for years because
No,
he
the
wronged
recent Wonka
him.
movie was not Wonka. It was the guy who took over the factory from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the recent one they released.
No, I meant the new one. that literally just came out
Ah. Yeah,
with that whole premise. Yeah.
Yeah, this basically turns the so-called slaves at the chocolate factory into the masters. I mean, when you
Oh
look
boy.
at the way Willy Wonka acted, that is someone who's been highly damaged and repeating whatever they've been fed for who knows how long. So the time the factory was closed, he could have been in a dark room, basically getting shouted at left, right, and center, tortured.
Well, oh goodness. Oh boy. Well, either that or he was. Well, the Oompa Loompa who was supposed to be on guard was banished and goes sent out to find the 1,000 times fold to like redeem himself. Essentially, that's the whole. That's his backstory.
In what, like a 10,000 pound boat?
But
I
well,
mean, that
in
shit
that
was
in that movie,
sweet.
Willy Wonka is basically like a freaking sorcerer. He can just like make magical candy, which is pretty freaking bonkers, man.
Burn him at the stake,
Yo,
which they probably should have
you
done
eat the
to the
chocolate and
people
and
running
you
this
start
event.
flying.
So the people who did this event, I mean, holy shit, that is just gnarly. I'm sorry, but what was that FurCon several years ago now? That was just basically supposed to be like
DashCon, right?
no, not FashCon.
No,
It was supposed to be
DashCon
like
with the
end of
ball
the
pit.
world sort of apocalyptic design.
Oh, for Apocalypse?
Yeah, instead of being like fake, it was all real.
Dude,
Yes.
Apocalypse was real as fuck. Like the
And that-
hotel was
yeah.
literally falling apart. But these guys, they went out of their way to get some crappy decorations. They spent the least amount of money, and they were just trying to scam families because they're like, "Oh, look, we're attaching the brand to this whole event, and give us your money, and we'll give you a couple of jelly beans in a fucking cup." Like it was that bad.
And look at this. I mean, like, let's have a look at just like, yeah, you know what? There, there's the entrance to the theme park.
Yeah, what is this? That's not a magical happy land.
Wow.
It says trading
I'm sorry.
standards received.
This is reminiscent of something I did when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Says
Yeah.
trading standards received 5,000 complaints about the event, and 2 men were prosecuted for misleading customers. M said that at the Willy Wonka event instead sparks debate about the shrewd use of AI. He added the ability to generate convincing yet entirely fictional visuals and narratives can be a
Exploited with
sophistication.
unprecedented sophistication.
Insane. So yeah, they lied to people to get them into the event.
And it's just like that, they just made all this stuff generated with AI. Even the plot line, the script for the plays and all that, with where the hired actors had to learn, was also AI generated.
You know what? I bet at least one of those Oompa Loompas knew how to make proper good meth. So that's why they were hired. They were doing their job, damn it.
It's like, Oompa Loompa, we need to cook.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'm on it. Pay me $50. It's fine.
Anyway, but yes, there's more to this. More, the use of AI art in the marketing material. Have a look at the flyers that they've passed around, completely made with the use of AI.
Ah, yes. So this is a very nice flyer. It has some good artwork. It says, "Cat chatting live performances, Karchi tons, Exorcerde lollipops, and a pasadise of sweet teats." Ah, don't you guys just love the pasadise of sweet teats? How delicious.
Oh, holy
They didn't
hell.
they didn't even bother to like write their own fucking dialogue. They literally just used AI.
It's like they.
A
It's like
cat gacha-chang. What?
Yeah, it's like.
This
It's
is
like,
so funny.
dude. It's like they wrote into the AI prompt, generate a flyer that promotes an event like this, and they just ran with it. Instead of like they should have, you know what they could have done better? They could have just said generate a thingo, an image, and then they use Photoshop proper to edit the damn friggin' thing.
No, seriously, this is everything people complain about AI, only just real.
Right? And they didn't even bother to like change it. Yo, what the fuck is a Carchitons? Huh? What is that supposed to be? Oh, that's just some silly candy pun. No? No, it ain't. And they rip people off for this? Oh, dude. That's bonkers. Not cool, man. I mean, honestly, I would love an Exorcisidae lollipop. That sounds really yummy.
And then what does Exacidre taste like?
It tastes like, I don't know, scams and failure and crying children.
And a taste of meth too.
Oh, yes, of course. Only the purest blue chocolate.
Right, live comments, Moonbox. Could have been worse. At least they didn't call it Willy Wankers.
Uh,
Oh, Boombox, don't give people porn ideas, please. Oh wait, is that already a thing? I'm not. I'm not googling. Screw that shit.
Don't Google it. Don't Google Willy Wankers. That's hilarious. It was Willie McDuff or something weird like that. They were trying to do to like not have lawsuits, but yeah, people are still filing lawsuits against them because yeah, I think over 1,000 people, or like they said, what 5,000 people made complaints.
Yeah, that's about right.
Oh boy.
I know, and it's so crazy. Like you got this whole thing. What could possibly go wrong, right? Like you got this idea for this event. You use AI to create the promotional material, AI to generate the script that the actors will go through, like the plot lines and all that, and all the experiences. Yeah, what could possibly go
All they
wrong?
had to do was give the kids candy. It would have been fine.
There
I
has
mean,
to
not
be a
fine.
budget store that they could have gone to buy like cheap ass chocolate.
I mean, heck, you buy the chocolates in bulk and you pass them around, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, I heard the only things that they got was like, as we said before, half a cup of watered down lemonade and like 1 or 2 jelly beans. That was it. Can you imagine like how upset you would be if you're like some 8-year-old kid? You're like, "Where's my candy? I want to go to Willy Wonka World." They're like, "Yeah, here you go. Have fun on like our concrete fucking floors. Look at this mushroom blow up we got for like 20 cents." Oh, good lord. No wonder parents got upset. Yeah, they got totally scammed, especially for that price. Man, that's messed up.
Yep, and there you go. And here we were hoping that Willy Wonka would basically resurge again.
Oh
well.
no! After the movie, they sort of screwed things up. Well, at least the last one.
Well, the movie, I'm not going to say it was either good or bad because I haven't personally seen it. It looked good for my opinion, but I feel like people like this are just trying to bank on that recent movie just to get a quick cash grab. They don't care. Clearly, they don't care. So they're just like, oh, this is a popular thing now. Let's try to milk people out of their money and just do a half-assed job. And that's what they did.
Exactly. And they just and again, like you said, they've also rushed it out because the actors there was basically saying that the script was rushed out and they had to do it like the next day.
Yes, I did hear something about that. In fact, one of the actors, he said that because he posted it online. They gave it to him on Thursday, and he said it had to be memorized by like the next day. And he's like, well, it looked like it was written by AI because there was some chocolatier who lived in the walls or some weird shit like that. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, if they can't make their text correctly and they're just using AI for it and it's not totally perfect yet, yeah, no wonder you're going to be all confused in trying to make a script.
Yeah. What are the chances, right? What are the chances? What are the chances of it happening, right? Fuck me dead.
Unfortunately, these kids were very upset, and I'm sure the families, they're upset that they got scammed out of money. But I will say, for the rest of us people, I would say the funniest and best thing that came out of this was that Oompa Loompa meth lab. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. That was so funny. As messed up as it looked.
Mm-mm. All right. Now we've got some more items to have on the show. One that's a bit less, one that's a lot less depressing, one that's new, hopefully more more newer, more hopeful. And, well, now all eyes are going to be on the spotlight because, it's, it is it is also another anniversary of Pokemon, and guess what? They're announcing another new game. Pokemon Legends ZA. Noble, what do you make of this so far? Like what we just found out about it?
Well, it sounds like they're going to try to complete the X and Y franchise, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, after the last Pokemon game they played,
Right, Scarlet and
I
Violet.
swear, the characters in that you play look like fucking aliens. Sorry to say, it's just not what I would call interesting. It's just repellent. I mean, I'm still playing Sword and Shield. I'm still playing through that. I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I'm
even
playing
then,
like 2 copies of the game, but looking at this is just the then Scarlet and Violet. That's off-putting enough when it's going to come to actually playing it. I hate to think what they're going to do with the characters in this one.
yeah, well, let's have a look at what they've announced thus far with it. Pokemon Legends ZA is again, they're following the kind of the formula that was made with Pokemon Legends Arceus, and not like the mainline Pokemon games. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this all turns out. Like Pokemon Legends Arceus was meant to turn Pokemon into a bigger, wider open world experience, more so than more dynamic, more so than what's in the mainline series of games.
What would be interesting to see is whether or not this is just one game and not two, like Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Oh,
like
this is the main
many
one.
many other
Okay.
promotions that they did in the past. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a mainstream one. No, I might have to buy it then.
No, again, like the main,
Just
again,
to,
of course, is there's no,
just to,
like,
just to see whether or not they actually do close a couple of the loopholes. Because when I got back into Pokemon, it was X and Y was like the current generation. I was about
right.
halfway
And then in
through it, if I
2013, like
recall.
it was like that was probably the biggest thing, and I still remember like so much hype surrounding X and Y. It was crazy. Like they finally got their first game on the 3DS, and everyone got hyped for Mega Evolution among other things. And as well as that, like people saying that X and Y storyline had so much unresolved mysteries within it. Crazy to think, right?
Well, looking at the way they're doing this now, so initially, what they would do is bring out new games.
Yeah.
Then, when the DS consoles came out, they decided to re-release games. No, they did that with the Game Boy Advance with Red and Blue because. But what it looks like they're doing now is that instead of re-releasing a game series, if they're only going to produce one with like the Legend series,
Yes.
it could just be like a side game to the main one, which that would be interesting. And it would also mean that the first one they brought out was that Pikachu and Eevee, where
Yeah.
they
There.
redid
Pokemon Let's
the
Go. Yeah, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
yeah, fascinating.
And that's the first one
Well,
that they launched on the Switch.
it's definitely an interesting way to make money, and if they keep it to just one title, um, yeah,
That's a good point, especially the fact that you know re-releases are not necessarily reboots. They're just the same game on different platforms.
Some updates.
So, some
Oh,
updates, yeah, for sure, but it's not like an entirely different story with different creators and whatnot. It's literally the same thing, just with different controls or a couple of new features, basically.
Yeah, like quality of life improvements that make the game a bit more, well,
Right,
not
more
nice.
enjoyable,
Yeah,
or at the very least, different.
and that's the thing. Now, what's interesting about the whole Pokemon Legends ZA is the release date. They're planning to launch this. All they've said is that they're planning to launch it simultaneously in 2025 rather than this year, and it's coming to, of course, the Nintendo Switch systems.
yeah, the way they advertised it, it sounds like they're going to be releasing the next generation console, hence the
I
Switch 2 thing.
Yeah,
But this
and
game will play on both consoles. So whether or not it's going to be two different consoles or two different games, or it's going to be the same game but plays on both.
yeah, different like whole thing. But I think, to be honest with you, if I were them, I'd honestly try to Switch too, because I think it's high time Nintendo really needs to get their hardware game up to snuff. Otherwise, they'll be left behind, and their games won't exactly cut it up to scratch with with the technological advancements of this time.
Well, the Nintendo Switch 2 is releasing in 2025, correct?
That's the plan. Like they're saying all sorts of things about its launch date. That's the thing.
Right.
But
So with them making this announcement, it would seem like they want to get more people hyped to either buy the console and the game itself. So that would, make
exactly,
more
like
better
make
for
it a launch.
marketing, I would say.
Make it a launch title. Like
Right.
remember how we had these big heavy hitters when Switch launched. You had like Zelda Breath of the Wild that turned out to be like the most awesome thing ever.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, and if they do bank on this strategy, then yeah, this might actually just work.
Yeah, it's smart from a marketing perspective.
Yeah,
But how much can they really change this game? I mean, Pokemon has been around for like 25 years.
yeah. But with the Legends, they've tried something different. They've made they're making, instead of like following the whole routine gym, battle gym leaders and stuff, they've made it like a more dynamic, sprawling, big open world. That's and not and you and your encounters with Pokemon are more, well, organic.
Right. Right. That's cool.
Yeah, right.
Make it more entertaining, for crying out loud. Don't try to vomit all this fancy word shit all over stuff. It's just ridiculous. Every
Yeah,
time I hear that kind of advertisement from people or someone talking about how wonderful something is, it's like, why are you vomiting words all over something? Show why. Ugh.
exactly. Now, to move on to the what's the meat and bones of Pokemon Legends ZA. It's it covers the world that was set forth in Pokemon X and Y, Kalos region, and it's set in the big city of the in Lumio City. And they're going through like a redevelopment plan that for a city that built for both people and Pokemon. So it's weird. Like people say, they're saying that you're not able to explore like beyond that, but but let's be real. How many games are set like within the confines of the city and they still do really, really, really well?
Oh, definitely. I mean, if they make the city, interesting and dynamic and all that, stuff to do, sure. I mean, why bother having to explore otherwise?
Yeah, like I mean, really, at the end of the day, like what really needs to happen is clever world design, clever city design that makes things like not all like monoblock, no, you know, nothing but towers and flats with no green space, right? Or like or like
There's
whatever
that
that
too.
looks. Yeah, because at the end of the day, city design is very much good. City design is very much an important part of what makes a even what makes a game world so exciting to be in.
What I find is a real kicker with Lumio City. What people used to do is they take a bit of cardboard, stick it underneath the analog joystick, and just walk away from the console. When you're breeding Pokemon,
Mhm.
what that'll do is it will have it rotate around the gym in the center,
Yeah,
and it made it so much easier hatching eggs.
I guess that's one. Yeah, I guess that's the
Well,
one
in
thing
that
to do.
place, you're not. Well, I mean, in that sense, you're not really playing the game. Then you're kind of just waiting for things to hatch, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, some things like hatching and breeding are are time based mechanics. So
Yeah,
or even
but in
like
the meantime, I mean, why wouldn't you want to explore the world and do other side quests and
yeah,
stuff?
like while you got the downtime. I get what you mean.
Well, the
Exactly,
problem
exactly.
was when you're shiny hunting, you need to hatch as many eggs as possible.
But again, it's a thing that you can choose to do or not to want to do.
I'll be honest, I seriously hope they don't have the Rotom Pokédex in that because that thing just ticks me off.
Right, right, right. And it's gonna be interesting too. Like a couple more interesting things is that Pokemon Legends they had cross generational starter Pokemon. So I guess what you got, has in Pokemon in Arceus, you got a Gen 2 starter Cyndaquil, a Gen 5 starter, and and one of the newer starters, and that just and I think in this one it would seem like people are now going to be predicting to follow the trend a little bit different because they're not. I don't think they'll be introducing like any new starter Pokemon if they follow that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they'll
Yeah.
introduce new Pokemon and new sub forms or what have you. Sub.
Look,
Right.
what I found is that after you beat if I recall correctly, after you beat the Pokemon League, you were able to go around and get all the starters. At least if I
Mhm.
recall correctly, that was fun. I mean, there's a decent amount of after gameplay, but Black and White is what I'd call the gold standard for any Pokemon game moving forward. If you want to play a good one, that's it. I'm sorry, but the fact the community sort of torn in the Pokemon company apart because they made Black and White is just ridiculous.
No, fair enough. I mean, that was a very successful iteration. Absolutely. I mean, I remember playing Ruby and Sapphire. Like, I love
Me
playing
too.
Ruby. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I played Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, besides the point, like me playing on emulator, but that was like the last main Pokemon game I really, really played before I couldn't get my hands on a DS when I was
Yeah.
a teenager. Still, but I mean, still, it's yeah, they're predicting they have like these three starters based on Kalos's inspirations to France. It's
Hmm.
not every torch you can Piplup, but you never know.
See, these look more like Digimon than Pokemon. Just
Right, like these are
they do.
regional
Yeah.
Pokemon. But I guess if you wanted a masterclass on Dingo, especially in light of what recent things happened, which we are gonna have to talk about because because of recent things happened, then yes. Now, I say recent things happened. I mean, we all know like what happened a month ago. Pal
Oh
World
yeah.
burst onto the scene, broke the dingos, and said, "You know what?" And even their Pokemon reacted the way they did. So if this is Pokemon's ploy to once again step back into the ring, be relevant and competitive, well, right now all eyes are on them, and they can't afford to mess this up. They have to make it good and bring back the joy of playing Pokemon with a fresh,
Right.
with a
Right.
breath of fresh air.
Joel, the problem with that is that I am damn sure that whatever's in this new release game would have been in development during Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, yeah,
So anything they've done, I am damn well sure isn't going to be wouldn't have been built specifically to challenge Power World.
No, but perhaps now that it's being released, their marketing can try to snatch back that market because it's hard to compare the two. But the fact is, people have been, and I think there's that overall mentality of like, okay, this market that has been playing Pokemon for so long, this new game came out, and now that's all the rage, right? So they might be losing some customers.
I mean,
So
at the
they
end of
have
the
to find
day,
a way to market better to them.
yeah, there's no coexistence thingo because
No, it's
Pokemon will
totally
be
different.
exclusively for Nintendo Switch, while Palworld is on Steam and Xbox.
Right, right. It's different, like console wise, or like just even the whole game experience. But still, a lot of people have been comparing it because the whole monsters and catching them and doing whatever. It's the fact that Pokemon had to even make a statement about it really does tell you that they are concerned about losing a market share.
Mm.
So yeah, and
Yeah,
if this new game can come out, like if they can actually make it like good, hopefully, then they got nothing to worry about.
yeah. Again, like you said, like maybe it might not challenge Palworld in the stuff that that Palworld is good at. Like guns and assembly lines and all that
Yeah.
crazy shit. But if it does its own thing and does it really damn well, and actually ups the technological, sophistication, then yes, maybe it can actually be good. So, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, next year or so. But otherwise, yeah. For now, because I don't have any Nintendo consoles on my premises, I'm sticking to Power World. At least I can be a squirrel with a gun.
Right on.
Ah, well. Anyway, a couple of things. Before I do I do move on to the last item. There's another thing that would interest you, Avira. What's it called? I've just found out very, very recently. Toys for Bob, the current custodians of, the current developers of the Spyro and Crash Bandicoot games, have split away from Activision and gone independent.
Oh, I did not hear about this. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, this is new. This just happened very, very recently as well. Like I just found out, and I figured, you know what, I had you on my mind because Spyro's awesome.
Oh yeah, well, definitely. Well, Spyro was the first game that I ever played in my whole life, so
I know.
very close to my heart. Yes. So with this separation, what was the details behind that? Like, do they have enough funds to continue on doing their own thing, or do they still need other sponsors?
No, they basically decided, you know what, they're operating as Toys for Bob is operating as an independent developer. They're not part of, Activision, Blizzard, and now and by proxy Xbox, Microsoft, because Xbox bought Activision and Blizzard
Right. Right.
recently.
Okay.
And but they're still good chumps with Microsoft. Don't get me wrong, and Xbox, but because right now I think it's Activision that still have the Crash and Spyro license.
Ah, that's what I was about to ask. Yeah, because like if they wanted some more independence, would they still be able to use the Spyro or Crash license, even if they're not necessarily under that same umbrella owned by Xbox? Or I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I'm sure they can come to a licensing agreement. Like that's how it usually goes with games that require licenses,
Okay,
use those properties and stuff.
interesting.
And but yes, it'll. I mean, who's to know what's going to happen in the future of Crash and Spyro right now? Like, I mean, I know the last game, what's it called? Crash Team Racing, the remake was made by another studio, Beanox, and so they
Hmm.
might be in charge of the next new Spyro games coming forward if they're still keeping this in house within Activision.
Yeah, that's it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah. So again, like I said, Toys for Bob does not. They're just the developers. They don't own the Crash or Spyro license. That's Activision's. But
Okay.
again, Yeah, partnerships and agreements can come out of it, and they probably have, and they won't have their hands tied as much by going independent. So Donald, maybe something hopeful can come out of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think that Spyro Reignited came out several years ago. It only feels like it was yesterday, but honestly, I think they did a pretty darn good job with it.
All right. Now, last thing. Now, we're going to follow up on a couple of other items that we've covered the past week. Namely, about the crazy thing known as the Google AI Gemini. Just to follow up. I mean, amidst all that backlash, you know what that resulted in? Google lost about $96 billion in value in the span of what? A single day.
Oh yeah. Now, mind you, this is 96 billion with a B. That's more than the GDP of many third world countries. So this massive company just lost that much money because they messed up with their AI program trying to rewrite history, and everyone was backlashed against it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this was a honestly, Joel, what do you think? Is this like one of the biggest financial mistakes in the history of a single company?
Oh, it's huge. $96 billion is like fucking nothing to sneer at, man.
I've
I
never
would have
seen a
thought
loss
Metaverse
that
was.
big.
I would
Sorry,
have thought Metaverse was with Facebook.
how much did they lose?
Billions.
Oh, exactly. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy to think we're
well,
talking about billions here, but dude, look what happened with freaking Google. I mean, my God, almost $100 billion in like a couple of days. Are you kidding me? What? Yeah, Meta messed up too because everyone was like, "No thanks, Mr. Zuckerberg. We're not going to be going into your virtual reality world."
Borg.
no, you're right. No, Meta did lose $230 billion.
Oh, that's even. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. But even half of that, you're still talking $100 billion that Google or Alphabet corporation is now out of because of a single program that they tried to be all diversity, equity, and inclusive, and normal people were not having it.
Yeah, and they were trying to really, like, when you ask the questions, they were trying, pushing the message in such, like, evasive ways.
But when you type in George Washington, they make her a Native American woman. What? What?
What?
Like, yeah, Native American woman is George Washington apparently. Yeah,
Well,
they
I
went a
mean,
tad too far.
yes. Well, I am going to try and refire up Gemini one more time again.
It might not work now because they're trying to shut it down or at least stop
No,
people from.
it's more like they're doing the whole they shut it down to try and make adjustments to the prompt injection process that they've done to try and make sure that it's you get generate an image of George Washington.
Prompt injection, you should have the right to choose what's in there and what isn't.
Right.
Whoa! They can't generate images of that. What do you mean? George Washington, one of the most iconic figures in the history of the entire world, they can't do it? That's a red flag right there. Okay.
All right, let's try something a bit more, what's it called, like just with people, but not not super. Well, let's try again. The Pope.
Yeah.
Again, that was another thing that
Yeah, they made the Pope like a Native American or something.
Well, they did make an African man wearing traditional African garb, and that.
Oh, we're working to improve Gemini's ability to generate images of people. We expect this feature to return soon. Yeah, so
it's
clearly,
just sorry, the way I have to put this is Microsoft's just being racist. That's all.
No, Google.
Yeah, because they hate white people.
Oh wait, Google.
I mean, look, Microsoft.
Google.
If you want to show that though, you run this through like Bing image generator, and you probably might get a better result.
What if you typed in George Floyd? What do you think will pop up?
Ooh, now you're fighting. Now them's are
I'm
fighting words.
curious. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see
want to
if
see
that
this.
works.
I want to see this. Come on.
Yeah, don't give me that. We can't generate this because racism. Ah, really?
They're
Wow.
holding back the generation of images of people.
Wait,
I
wait, wait.
think that,
Try putting in dog.
yeah,
No,
just a
no,
regular
nothing
dog.
else. Just the word dog.
Yep, good idea. We don't want to be speciesist because we don't know if you mean Chihuahua or German Shepherd. So
Exactly. Sure. Here is an image of a dog. Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, the
That's
husky one
good.
looks good,
Yeah, yeah,
except for the
nice.
tail. The tail's really off.
Hmm. I like the one on the bottom left. He looks like a little Doberman puppy. It's kind of cute. So okay, they can do dogs, but if you type in George Washington, they
Or
can't
people.
generate that.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
the
Or
most famous
people.
people in the whole world. That's weird.
Yeah. Or people. They're trying to make adjustments to that sort of thing.
Yeah, no wonder they lost $100 billion.
Yeah. And they're set up to lose more because at the end of the day, like they can't fix this fast enough to undo all the damage that's been done. Like, let's be real.
Oh, it's already been done. I love the fact that whenever people typed in a German soldier from 1943, it showed like a black Nazi. That was the most weirdest thing. Like, wait, what? Ah,
I
they
know,
had
right?
like
We was Nazis while you all were XXX complete
they
descendants.
had like a disabled woman in a wheelchair who was like Asian, and she had like a swastika. Like, come on. When they try to be so diverse and inclusive, they end up circling back and just being ridiculously racist themselves. Crazy.
Hmm.
Maybe eventually they'll get their programs back, and then you can actually type in real historical things.
What I find fascinating about this is just how woke they went with the image generation initially.
Yeah, right.
I'm
It was such a
sorry, but
mistake.
it's they talk about being inclusive, and yet that wasn't an inclusive AI generator. That was a restrictive one. It
Yes,
didn't give you the option to take out what they were adding in or altering what they wanted to add in to make a better image. It was just done for you.
yeah, and it was literally it was politicized. It wasn't about anything related to history whatsoever. Hell, I saw people typing in show please generate an image of Vikings, and then they showed like black women as Vikings, and I'm like, what? They're Scandinavian white guys. Like, what are you talking
Look,
about?
um, to be fair, if Vikings had reached Africa,
They
something
didn't.
like that would have happened.
They
I'm
didn't.
saying if they had reached England, sorry,
Well,
Africa,
they have
something
reached
like
like
that would
I
have
mean,
happened.
population.
if they
Yeah.
did, they would have been their slaves, but that never happened. So again, it's just all that political nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, but the founding fathers were not Native Americans. Okay, it was fucking George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. It was not a black woman. I'm sorry, but it wasn't. And that's what they try to promote, which is why they had to shut their stuff down because it was misleading people. It was genuinely being disgenuous. And I love the fact that people just wanted to troll it and they just started typing in all these weird things and just seeing what it would generate, and then they just made fun of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Oh my
really,
goodness.
at the end of the day, if you if you mess with the whole prompt injection thing too much, you cause so much damage, like what Google Gemini did. But for an image generator, you find that prompt injection features are necessary so that you get the image in the highest quality and thing are possible.
Yeah, that's true, and I've experimented it with myself. But having the option to know what is being included, especially sometimes when I've been running through it, I found that certain artists' names were being tossed in, and I'm like, oh, that's why. Okay, let's just take that out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Benjamin Franklin is not an Asian woman. Okay, he's not. I don't know why they would generate that. It's weird, man. It's super weird.
I wonder what algorithm they use specifically to identify when someone was typing about a white person.
They probably had like a red X over that, like, oh, make
Right,
sure
like
to be diversity inclusive, and then just
yeah, they
reject
like they
everything.
like put the word white in the in the negative finger, like in the prompt where it says what don't you want in this image. They,
Jeez,
but
that's
yes, like
messed up, man.
and even then, with your per chance thing, like you can manually put in what you don't want in, but they prompt inject it so that they don't have features like bad composition, bad thingo in it. So you get the idea. But yeah, there you go. I guess now the most practical solution to this sort of thing would be to detox yourself from Google products and Google services as much as you possibly can. Yeah, leave it
Amen.
at that. So if you so whatever it is that you're using Dingo, you can find alternatives to all services that are provided by Google, like alternatives to email, maps. Well, mobile phones may be a bit tricky, but yeah, like 100%. And even heck, the AI you use, because
One,
there are better like AI chatbots and better AI image generators than Gemini. I mean, frick, they can't even draw furries right, Gemini.
oh, right. There's so many better AI generators to make furry art out there. Hell, I've used some. They're great.
I know. I've still got to use. I've got to use a couple other ones too. Like I got to get like Bing, like see how Microsoft the big M. Well,
Mm.
Microsoft does furries.
The thing you have to understand, and this is what I absolutely love, is that sites like E621 generally provide the information that an AI thing would need. A buck
Yeah,
ton of text and the image.
it's a search engine. They hit the keywords and then they have a database to search from. So yeah, that's true. Do we have like another minute or so? Because Joel, there's one more thing I just wanted you to type in on Gemini just to see if it'll pop up or not.
Yeah.
All
That's
right, so type in Jesus or
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
now we're talking.
Let's just see what happens.
Now,
If it
Now we're talking, my dude.
I would personally prefer a Middle Eastern man if you want to be accurate.
yes, that's what I would expect to see. Honestly, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, let's see what it thinks about. If it is a Middle Eastern man, that's more historically accurate than.
Yes, like
Yeah.
I can't never get images of
Oh,
that.
really? Wow,
Now it's targeting religion.
that's crazy.
No. Like, let's try a generate. Yeah, you can ask the same thing to like generate an image of like Mahatma Gandhi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh well, he'll pop up probably. Really? Wait a minute. No.
Oh, was about to generate an image of that, but then it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? It thought about it for a second, and it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe we can't. Oh, that's messed
like,
up.
whoops, yeah.
Yeah. So much for an intelligent AI program. It can't even generate literal historical, well-known, globally known religious figures. Wow, that's insane. Something must have went wrong there.
They should have probably terminated the service altogether if they're not willing to.
Hey, it can generate images of a dog. So there you go. But it can't make an image of Jesus or Gandhi. That is totally bonkers, man. Wow. Gotta keep up on this and see like what happens in the next month or so.
Oh, yeah. Follow up.
Yeah.
If it's even still available. At this point, who knows with how much billions of dollars they lost.
All right. Well, Now that we've reached what's good with this episode for the week.
Mhm.
Well, not much has happened. Well, the things that happened, bam, they hit. So, what do you think? Who'd like to close up?
I will go first.
Mhm.
So going back all the way to the start with the fake Willy Wonka, why couldn't they even bought a bloody chocolate foundry? I mean, just how many people were behind this? Seriously. No, if you were really into chocolate, and this is something I've been considering about doing myself, getting a chocolate foundry, little waterfall things. Yeah, fine. Have like a smaller one, as something that people work past. But seriously, why couldn't they even have that? Or the cheap chocolate that they import from China? Just Pokemon AZ is going to be interesting. I'll say that much. Realizing now that it's not one of the mainstream games and instead one of the side ones, it might be worth looking at. I don't think I'd be buying a brand new though, unless they go for like half price, like what they did last time. I mean, shit. Oh, in Google, you tried and it was just like Facebook. You hit the wrong note. Yeah, I can just picture a meme now of both Google's, public AI thing and the floating upper body from someone in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Vera?
Well, I gotta say, I really do feel bad for the families and the kids that got duped into going this event, which, Willy Wonka is, at this point, a timeless cultural classic, right? Everyone knows what that is. So the fact that they went there and they got that kind of experience and were totally ripped off, that's really not fair, man. It kind of reminds me of, that SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs, he made Krabby Land, where it was basically like a junkyard as an amusement park for kids. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that sort of scam, which is not not cool. I hope they get their money back from these slimy people. Aside from that, Pokemon is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So we'll see what
So,
happens with this new game. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not optimistic because they're going to make money regardless. So I'm pretty damn sure they will. And when it comes to Google, oh boy, well, the people have spoken. If you're losing almost $100 billion because you can't even generate a simple image of Jesus Christ, yeah, something's wrong there. So you might want to have to reevaluate what you're doing. Okay. Oh man, crazy stories this week, but this was pretty darn fun. I hope you guys have an awesome night, and that's all for me.
Awesome stuff indeed, as I say all the time. Now, as always, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did, making it and witnessing all the horrors live as you see it. Nothing here is faked. As always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Play.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. Well, that's all we've got for this week. Farewell. Till next time.
bye.
Later.
AI Raid is coming in 2026.